What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the PHDJ podcast. Another episode here with your hosts, Mike, Walter, right there on the other end. What's up, Mike?
What's up? That's weird. You usually don't introduce. So let me introduce you and my partner for 4+ years, Mr. Joe Bunn.
I usually say 2 years, like I usually half the amount.
I know. You got to give us credit for longevity here.
I know. Yeah. Man. We're doing it.
Hey, I know you have a very super cool topic I can't wait to get to, but can I just give a tip of the cap to one of our listeners?
Yes. T.O. for a second, Mike. What? I don't think you're coming through your mic. Could that be possible? No? I feel like you might be coming through your speakers.
I don't think that's possible because I hear it in my headphones.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Yeah. Mark Beecher, who heard the show a couple weeks ago about not burning out, and I mentioned that Kelly and I were going to Jamaica. Yeah. Mark recommended a great hotel to us, or it looks great anyway. Ooh. And Kelly and I looked into it. It is right on the beach in the Grill, which is where we love, and we just booked it last night. 10 days in February next year, and that will be, like I've talked about many times. I wrote about it in my book.
Yes, you did.
That will be my saving grace. Like, that is going to get me through some of these busiest times. Just make it to Jamaica. I'm going to just keep telling that's going to be my mantra for the next 8 months. And Mark, thanks for the recommendation. I can't wait to get to this place. So thank you.
That's so cool, man. Yeah. Thanks for sharing that, man. Because again, it is super important. You know, you've always got that date on your calendar with a star beside it. And, you know, when you're pulling these 3 wedding weekends and stuff, that's something.
I got some quadruples coming up too. I got some Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Or I got a Friday double Saturday, Sunday coming up. So yeah, I'm going to be a zombie.
I did do.
We also treated ourselves to a suite at this place. We were looking at the prices last night, and I said, "You know what, Kelly? I'm working my ass off. I'm spending the extra $400 a night no, it was only like $50 a night, so like $800 for the whole. I'm like, I'm spending the extra. It's worth it. Yeah, it's worth it.
Didn't you, Mike? Didn't you go on a trip one time and shut down the phone? Like, actually not get on social? Or am I?
Oh yeah, when Kelly and I did the cruise a couple years ago, I actually deleted Facebook off my phone for those 4 days, because to me there's no other way to do it. If you have to, because it's almost habit. You click on Facebook. Sometimes I click on it without even thinking about it.
Me too.
So yeah, I deleted Instagram but it was only 4 days. I mean, it was a 4-day cruise. It wasn't that big. Yeah.
Yeah. Still,
I will not be doing that in Jamaica. As a matter of fact, I will be, and Kelly and I have talked about it, I will, similar to our trip to Maine, I will pop open the laptop, maybe every other morning for an hour and just answer some emails. I'd rather do that than come back from a 10-day trip and have, 2 20-hour days to deal with. So that's just Hey, did you see the Billboard Awards Sunday night?
Dude, I'm embarrassed to say this. I mean, I've been moving my office and doing a bunch of stuff. I just completely, until the next day on social, missed it. Yeah. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like,
I had a wedding Sunday night, so I recorded it. I just finished catching up on it this morning, so I was watching it in bits and pieces. First of all, as much as the Grammys ignored the weekend, the Billboard Music Awards, he won like almost every award.
It was insane.
If you haven't seen his performance,
oh my God, I did.
With the cars, dude, I've never seen anything like that. I've never seen anything like it.
Screaming the next morning that I had missed it, like live. Basically, I was watching it.
Well, if the listeners don't know what I'm talking about, you can find it on YouTube. They put the performance up. I have never seen. It's like choreography with cars. Man. It was amazing. Yeah,
it was unreal.
Yeah.
I don't know what was pre-recorded or what was live, but
the introduction. I forget the actor who introduced it, but he said it was live. So I don't know why they would lie about that.
Right.
So
that makes it even cooler, man.
Yeah, if they were not using special effects, those cars looked like they were coming within inches of hitting him and then veering off. So
I got chills right now. That was so freaking cool, man. Like, I told you I love that guy.
That's your guy. I know. I give you props for him. And also check out Pink and her daughter did an amazing performance. And I also loved Drake's speech. Drake got the Artist of the Decade. Mm-hmm. And he gave a speech similar to, and I've talked about this on the air, Jerry Rice, when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame for football. People ask me sometimes, what's my motivation? And I and I answer similarly, and I'm not putting myself on the same peer as Drake or Jerry Rice, but my motivation in life has always been fear. I am so afraid that if I take the foot off the gas for 1 second, I'm going to be an abject failure. And hearing people like Jerry Rice and Drake basically said the same thing. And Drake also thanked all the artists. He said they motivate me every time I see a new video or hear a new album. It motivates me, and I just loved his speech. So I'm sure you can find a lot of that on YouTube if you missed the show.
I did miss that. I know he had his son up there.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Anyway, get to your topic because I'm excited.
All right, I missed that. All right. Today's topic, and this is a Joe Bunn original. I often steal, and Mike as well, to be fair, from either Facebook comments or Richie Stedman. But today, I think I was at a wedding or something, and I started kind of flipping through. I always have a crate of the top 200 on in Serato, and I started kind of flipping through them, and I was like, golly, it's funny how so many of these songs that are in the top 200 or that I used to play, I haven't touched in literally years. And I was like, then I started thinking about Mike and like how we're different as entertainers and how we're in different markets. And I mean, just we're a lot alike, but we're a lot different. And so I was like, man, I wonder if this would be a good podcast topic. And I pitched it to Mike and he was like, yeah. So in no particular order, I'm going to just start riffing off songs. Now, I got this list. This was sent to me by Randy. This is where I every time it comes out, I curate this crate of the top 200. And this is the DJ Event Planner top 200. I think that's literally what it's called. So I'm assuming, Mike, that this list is collated by all the people, all of our clients and DJs that use DJ Event Planner across the country. This is the master.
Yeah, I'm under the same assumption. We should have reached out this week to Troy or somebody, but I am under that same assumption that this is put together by the requests that come in from our
It says most requested songs, powered by DJ Event Planner. The top 200 most requested songs in 2020, okay? This list is compiled based on over 2 million song requests made using the DJ Event Planner song requests.
So there you go. Yeah, there you go.
Which we use.
I think we're correct in that assumption. Good.
Okay. All right. Let's get it started in no particular order. So basically, let's do this on a percentage basis, Mike. So like 1 to 100.
Right.
Sweet Carolina. What? And again, let's focus on.
What percentage of my events do I play that at? Well, I mean, I do 95% weddings anyway.
Same. Okay. What percentage of events would you go to Sweet Caroline?
80%.
Wow. Okay.
I play Sweet Caroline at 80. Matter of fact, it's so funny. Last weekend, I had it on my do not playlist, one of my gigs, and I closed them. And by the client's request, it was the last song of the night on another wedding. So,
wow.
But when I'm not asked for it, 80% of my events.
I would say I'm probably about 50%. It is a big, like, Carolina Panthers song, even though it doesn't say Sweet Carolina. And we are assuming
I can see the connection,
right, that you're playing the OG, like, or is it like some kind of a redrum?
I have a remake, redrum, whatever that puts it in at 128. When I'm doing a dance set that is fizzling, but I don't want to slow it down yet.
Yeah,
I will often go to that, and then I also have a redrum of Ain't No Mountain High Enough, because to me,
I had that too.
To me, that's not slowing it down, but it's taking the foot off the gas a little bit, but it's still sing along, and that will sometimes revive that dance set, or I can then wind it down after Ain't No Mountain.
That's what I say a lot. I'm like, I hadn't heard you guys sing all night. Let's go, or something.
Right. That's a good line. Yeah.
Okay. I know this is high for you. Don't Stop Believing.
90%. I think probably the only time I don't play Don't Stop Believing is when it's on the do not playlist.
Right. I'm probably still I'm like 50% on that.
And again, original, or do you have a remake?
I'd play the OG. I'd play the OG. And it would almost be like a reset, maybe even like slow jam. And then the first part of it is technically slow. And then it builds.
Definitely.
You know what I mean?
I have a remix that puts it at like 122, I think.
Right.
And it's got a great 32 beat intro, and then right after that, it goes right into the melody. And when people hear the melody, they just freak. Yeah. And I love it. It's one of those songs I have the guitar solo stamped so that because I will often do the whole let me see you play some air guitar. That's a 9 out of 10.
Do people ever get pissed off if you don't play the original?
No. Well, I mean, if they do, they've never said anything to me. And Jersey people will tell you, they don't keep that shit to themselves. So I don't think so. I really don't. I very, very rarely play the original. The only time I play the original is if it is my last song of the night, and some people ask it for the last song of the night, and I have to slow it down before the last song of the night, then I will play a slow song, and then I'll go into the original. But even if it's the last song of the night, if I've got a dance set that takes me right up till the end, I just beat into that and end it with that.
And then the last part would be, would you ever cut that song short?
You mean like a Sopranos ending? That the only time we still get to this day a few clients. Back when Sopranos ended, we had a lot of clients. Hey, we want to end our wedding with "Don't Stop Believing," but just cut it off. Okay, but I mean that's the only time I would do that.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Love Shack.
50%.
I'm probably 20%.
Okay.
Not a lot.
But I will say, you just asked me about cutting short. You cannot cut Love Shack short. Right. Because it's got the some people live for that tin roof. I don't know why. It's stupid. It's dumb. But so I have a jump point in Love Shack so that I can get to that spot a lot quicker. But I never cut that part short, unless it's literally cleared the dance floor, which I don't think it ever has. But don't cut that part short.
All right, we'll bump up several decades here. And this was so big, and I didn't know about the longevity there. Shut Up and Dance, Walk the Moon.
90%.
Wow. Still.
Yeah. That's still a banger for me. Yeah.
I think I need to revisit that because I'm probably down to like 20%.
I have a remix that punches up the intro, and I play that. I also have a transition edit that starts it at like a 107 and then and it builds up to a 128. So sometimes I don't use that one as often, but sometimes if I'm down in the hip hop and I want to get up there quickly, I'll use that transition edit to get there. But yeah, I would say I play that at 90% of my events, and often it's the last song of the night. And that's by my choosing. I don't know that my clients have ever asked me for that, but a lot of times when I'm trying to map out my last 15 minutes, if I haven't played that one yet, I'll go, I'm going to save this for the end.
Joe gets off the air, immediately emails Mike to send him these edits he's talking about. Where are you at on Dancing Queen?
Maybe a third of my events.
Okay. I'm going to say the same, 25, 30%, same.
Yeah.
And nothing much to say about it. It's a good, because it does that piano roll or whatever again.
Yeah.
It's a good, like, if you have to drop in a song.
If you have to slam in the original, yes. I have a redrum or a remix that I use that helps me in. It is good. Like, if you're down in the hip hop beats, and if you've played like 3 or 4 rap songs in a row and you want to keep it in that BPM range, but, get some older people to the dance floor, maybe it's a good transition for that.
I agree. I still get it on a lot of must playlists, ironically.
Do you really? Yeah. When you say a lot, how many?
I'm sorry. I mean, when I play it, it's usually because it was on.
It's usually by request.
Yeah, by request.
Yeah. Is it, besides this 200 playlist, do you have a crate that's just is it in that?
Oh, yeah.
But I have it in that too.
It's not marked red anymore. Like, the little red square on Serato.
So that's how you've done it you mark it red. So you put these songs in your crate, and then you mark it red based on if it's a
If I really need like an emergency song,
Got
I know
it.
this. Yeah.
So is there a way to filter then just to see? Okay.
Yeah. Click at the top of that column, and then all the reds would shift to the top.
Got it.
And then, or you could do some red. Maybe there was ballads in that thing too. You could do those purple.
Oh, like see, I don't have any ballads in my party playlist. I have
me neither. No, you're right.
Right.
So I had the essentials top line folder, then top party hits, which would be mostly stuff we're talking about here, and then top dance and hip hop, which would be some of the stuff on here as well. So those are my kind of, I go back and forth between those, and then favorite edits, top 40, like little current stuff, like Dua Lipa, the Baby, stuff like that. Okay, I'm going to lump these together, and I know actually they are from around the same era. And these used to be almost, I would play them back to back to back, beat mixed in, short them or whatever. And I'm just kind of curious if these have fallen off. And again, this is based on conversations you and I have had before about the age of Brides Now. It Takes Two, Bust a Move, Push It. Do you still go to those?
It Takes Two. Out of those three, It Takes Two, I play more commonly than the other two. I just played Bust a Move. It Takes Two, I probably play a third of the time. Bust a Move, it's funny, it was on my request list this past weekend. I played it, and it's the first time I had played it in a long time. So I'd say maybe 5%. Here's my problem with Push It. It takes forever to get to the lyric. And I have certain start times where I can skip it in, but I'm just, and when I play it, it goes over, but I don't think to play that one that often, Push It. So out of those three, I'd say It Takes Two, and I can see why you lump them together. But out of those three, It Takes Two is probably the more, but even that's only about a third.
I know, man.
And by the way, when you conjoin songs like that, you asked about Love Shack, and last week when we teased this show, we talked about Moni Moni, Billy Idol's version. To me, those songs are joined at the hip. When I play one, I often play the other back to back.
Did you get my text the day?
I know it was on your, after you saying I never play it, it was on your request list.
The Tommy James version.
Anyway, but sometimes when I see that, Joe, I wonder if the client didn't just see Moni Moni and go click. So I might still have played the Billy Idol version if I get a request from Moni Moni and they ask for Tommy Jane. I probably would have asked them in the beginning, do you really like the oldies version or do you want the newer one?
Right. It went over. I played the old one. So I lump those old school raps together, for that reason. I was just thinking about how much I used to play those and how much I used to love that little mini mix set I did. And man, it's been.
So you used to play the three of them kind of lumped together?
I think so. And then I think also
almost like a medley.
Bust a Move. Yeah, at the bridge of Bust a Move, I think when it goes into that breakdown where it's just
break it down for me, fellas.
Yes, I would go into boom. He'd go break it down for me, and I'd go boom, 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 ba-da-doom, boom, 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 boom.
Oh, nice.
Into Ice Ice Baby, and people would go mental, but I've tabled those anyway. Let's move to All I Do Is Win. You ever drop that? Even just as a
probably bridge. Only when it's on my request list, which is
I'm probably
which is 5 to 10% of the time.
Right. I'm like 70%, but it would almost be like, everybody hands go up. He doesn't even get to the first verse.
Right.
And I would drop like jump around. Everybody hands go up.
Okay.
Bam, 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 blip.
Right.
So I almost
I do that often with Let Me Clear My Throat. He goes freeze, and then I go into
I was going to lump that with that.
But I think we've already talked about this in previous shows. You play more hip hop than I do.
I think so.
I don't know whether that's your clients request it or it's just your wheelhouse. Yeah. And when I play it, it often goes over. But I don't play as my go-to is not always hip hop the way it is for yours. So I think it makes sense that you would play All I Do Is Win more often than I do.
I guess I can kind of pair these together. Where are you with like Shook Me All Night Long and Living on a Prayer? Or do I need to separate those?
No, I can see why you put them together. Probably 80 to 90% at almost every gig.
Sure. I'm probably still at 50 on those, rapidly subbing those out for pop punk, Bright Side, Jimmy Eat World, Sugar We're Going Down. You know what I mean? Like, again, it's that cycle of life and the age of the brides and blah, blah, blah.
I think Living on a Prayer might be because Bon Jovi's a Jersey guy.
That's why I was like, is this blasphemy to put these in the same sentence? Like,
I do weddings sometimes, like the Molly picture is a hotel up in Red Bank, and you can see Bon Jovi's house from the Molly picture.
Jesus.
So, wow. I mean, and when I play that, I'll point out the window and I'll go, all right, folks, Bon Jovi lives right over there. Let's sing loud enough that he can hear it. You know what I mean?
Oh, shit,
so there's that cool kind of proximity that I think makes something like that more common in my area. But yeah, I'd say Living on a Prayer. Unless Bon Jovi's on my no list, I'm probably dropping it.
Okay.
And by the way, I'm going to talk about Shook Me All Night Long at the seminar that I do in Marquee.
Ooh.
I think sometimes we downplay the importance of a huge cold ending, and Shook Me All Night Long has one of those great cold endings. It builds big, and then bam. And as a mixer, don't try to mix out of that. If you're going to mix out of Shook Me All Night Long, you should mix out of the guitar solo. If you get past the guitar solo, forget about mixing.
Yeah.
But then the great part about that is you can go anywhere you want from that. You can drop to hip hop. You can go into a different rock song.
True, man.
You can slow it down. But so I think sometimes we get so obsessed about I gotta mix.
Yeah.
Let those big, huge endings of songs that end
Bright
cold.
Side ends like that too.
Yes, and a lot of times that's where it hurts to use a remix because a lot of times remix it give you a beat in, but then a beat out, and I don't want that. I love those huge cold endings. Yeah,
dude, that's so true. Tangent. People. No, it's a great point, man, and I kind of thought about that the other night when I played like just an intro outro of Bright Side, and I was like, God bless America. I wish I had played it so it ended down. You could almost see like they were almost disappointed that it didn't go to that last.
Yeah, that's one of the great things about that pop punk. Almost every song ended cold or with a coda, which is just a fancy word. Right. That's the fancy. Instead of ending on a dime, it ends with a reverberation.
Yeah. Right.
Either way, use those endings to your advantage.
We talked about this before and how I never really got into it and never really got blown up for it. Despacito. Are you still on it?
I mean, not as much. What was that? 3 years ago, it was a song of the summer.
Yeah, I mean, we were even a year later. We
I might play it a third of the time now.
Okay.
It's still on my request list from time to time.
Right.
But if I see a number of Latinos in the room, I will specifically that and Mi Gente are kind of back to back in my playlist. They go together great, and Havana still, but not as much as the summer that I was out. It was every year.
Sure,
everywhere.
Okay,
yeah,
I'm like 5%. I have a couple of just random questions. Would you play the twist, or would you play twist and shout, or would you play both?
Well, I don't consider that. To me, the choice is the twist or Let's Twist Again.
Okay.
And I play Let's Twist Again more often because I don't have a remix of that, but just the intro of it mixes perfectly with Runaround Sue. So the mix of coming out of Runaround Sue into Come On Everybody into Let's Twist Again, I prefer. Twist and Shout, I play 80% of the time.
I haven't played the twist in a minute, but I play twist and shout probably 50% of the time. 50% of the time, especially if there's any Beatles on the list or any mention of Beatles.
Another great cold ending.
Oh yeah. I don't mess with that. Yeah. How about Footloose? Where are you on that?
A quarter of the time. My biggest problem with Footloose is it's so high BPM wise. Yeah, I rarely get up that high to what is it, 175 or something.
Yeah.
So you're either going to slam it in or you're going to mix it low and then kind of pitch it up. It's just there's not a lot in my playlist that's up in that category.
Yeah, I'm probably 20% of gigs. I would play that.
Yeah.
How about Def Leppard, but not for the cake cutting? Like, just as a
pour some sugar on me.
Sugar. Yeah, sorry, pour some sugar.
10% of the time.
Yeah, I'm down with that as well.
Yeah,
I used to pull it a lot though. I think it was in like Magic Mike or something, maybe, or there was
also had a little bit of a comeback. Yeah,
I thought maybe I made that up. I don't know.
Yeah.
How about where are you with Pharrell? Happy?
Rarely.
Yeah, same.
Probably
remember
less
how big that was?
Less than 5% of the time. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably the only time I play Happy is when it's on my request list.
I think the only time I would probably pull it, Mike, is if there was an abundance of kids, which I hate kids at a wedding. Everybody knows that. I hate a damn child at a wedding.
My go-to when I see kids, I drop Frozen, Let It Go.
Oh wow! Yeah.
And Baby Shark.
Wow,
those are like my two.
We're not. I mean, I'm intentionally, by the way, just to seg into this next third of this, intentionally leaving out, the Brunos and the things that Usher, and things like that. But yeah, and Can't Stop the Feeling, I guess, would be a kids one for me, or maybe like a Taylor Swift song. Anyway,
I play Can't Stop the Feeling at almost every event. I
still do.
I have a remix that punches it up to like 130, and man, I drop that. That's a last half hour song for me almost every event.
Joe makes note to get that from you. Okay,
and it still blows up.
Yeah, no, I love that. I mean, me and Timberlake. All right, this is one that's been on the list forever. Mambo No. 5. Do you still play this?
Only by request.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Same. It would be.
But I will say this: it's been on my request list fairly commonly in the last month. I've probably played it 5 or 6 times, so I don't know whether it's coming back. I haven't yet put it back into my party playlist. But if I see it a few more times on my playlist, I probably will stick it in there. I don't know whether it's a retro thing. I don't know whether it's appeared in a movie or something that's brought it back in. But I will say that I don't. The only time I ever play it is by request.
Interesting. Okay. I want to pair these, but it's not necessary that you really comment as a pair. I think I used to kind of play them back to back. Play That Funky Music and or Brick House. I used to play together a lot.
I play That Funky Music a lot. I rarely play Brick House.
Oh,
I have them both in my party playlist, and I get much better reaction from Play That Funky Music, and so that one I play commonly.
Okay.
I usually back it up with Respect. I usually play That Funky Music into Respect. Yeah. That's a common mix.
I play Respect at 96% of my gigs.
That's higher than I do. I probably 80%, but yeah, it's a common one for me.
Play That Funky Music and Play That Funky Music. I'm probably at 30% of my gigs. Brick House maybe 50. But I used to. That was again one of those little, quick hits I did. All right, another question one. Are you back on Ignition Remix? Because I've had it on Must Play both of my weddings.
Really?
Weekend.
No,
yes.
I still have R. Kelly in the
as band.
I'm staying away from him. And even if I saw it on my request list, like I've had this a few times where clients had it on their request list, and I said, "Oh, I noticed you have. Do you want some R. Kelly?" And then and I've had a few people go, "Oh no, we put that list together a while ago." Like, I have not played an R. Kelly song since the documentary.
Okay, I've resurrected it for the 2021 season. I'm sorry, everybody.
So you don't care about children, clearly.
Jeez, good Lord. You're horrible. Of course I do. I'm sorry. It was on the. I didn't just pull it.
So it's on your guest. So you wouldn't play it. You wouldn't drop Ignition. Is it in your party playlist?
Oh yeah, it's still sitting there. It doesn't have a red square on it. It doesn't have a red square on it.
Okay.
No red square.
It's good to know you have some standards.
Jesus. Celebration, Cool in the Gang.
A third, 40, maybe 40% of the time.
I'm shocked at that. I thought you were going to pull like a 90 on that, like a 90 percentile.
No, it's one of those, like, I'll play it when I have to, and I'd rather not, but I also know full well if I'm struggling with a crowd, I know that it's a cheesy, but it's very recognizable and cliche, and it'll probably get some people up. So I'd rather not, but if I have to, it means I'm struggling a little bit.
Yeah, I'm down to probably 10%, 15% on that.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't have this on my list, but I think it behooves me to ask about We Are Family.
Well, and again, I put those two songs together.
Yeah.
I mix them together. I think of them together.
Yeah.
And again, I would say the same answer, a third to 40%, maybe slightly higher. Maybe Celebration's a third and We Are Family is 40%. But those are two songs that if I'm playing them, they're either on the guest or they're on the client's request list, or I'm desperate. I'm struggling to get these people dancing.
I think a lot of times, Mike, that is almost me on after I do the introductions and realize that, this girl has 3 sisters. I got all my sisters. I sometimes that's when I would pull it, or 2 sisters or whatever. It's, 3 girls in the household or something.
There's so many songs in that BPM range that I don't need. Sometimes you play a song just because I'm in this BPM range and I don't have a lot of choices, but there's so many between, what is 117 to 120, whatever those songs are. There's just so many. There's a plethora of songs in that area. So it's not like I'm looking for something in that BPM range.
Right. It's not like a struggle. Right. Do you still play YMCA?
Only by request.
Okay. Same.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I say by request, it's got to be the client's request. Like if Joe Schmo at table 14 comes up to me and asks for YMCA, he ain't hearing it unless I'm really
it's got to
struggling.
be VIP.
It's got to be VIP. Yeah.
Okay. I also, just a quick reference on this podcast, I also intentionally left out the line dances. So let's just talk briefly about what I call bro country. So Florida Georgia Line, Luke Bryan, Sam Hunt, those kind of guys. Like, do you ever play Country Girl Shake It For Me or Body Like a Back Road or any of that? Cruise, Nelly?
Yeah, I mean, if it's rare, but if I have clients that like country and they don't give me specifics, then Country Girl Shake and Save a Horse, Ride a Cowboy, to me, they go together perfectly. The same BPM range.
Sure.
So that's a twofer that I'll often throw out. But I don't get nearly as many country requests. Matter of fact, I probably have more clients that say no country. That's a common comment that we get with our clients.
Oh, interesting.
Then clients that say play some country.
Everybody thinks we're rednecks and everybody loves country here, but that's not true. Normally, the country requests I get are one of those bro country songs or a ballad. The country artists and ballads are godlike.
They have cornered the market on ballads.
It's unreal.
On parents' dances, they've done, but you know what? Because country artists tell stories and
storytelling.
Yeah.
So good, man.
Yeah.
Try Body Like a Back Road.
But to me, that's not a dance song. It's a background song. It's a mid-tempo salad song.
Let me send you a link to. I'm not going to send you the file, Mike, of a song of a version. Okay, a couple more, and then we'll wrap this up. Where are you on old time rock and roll these days?
It's fallen off my playlist. It used to be a no-brainer, and now
I know Mike Walters shit.
I can't remember the last time I played old time rock and roll.
Wow.
I really can't.
I'm surprised.
I can't.
Some of these I'm surprised about.
I will play it this weekend because I have a client that loves Bob Seger, and they want to end the night with Night Moves. How cool is that?
God, dude,
that's my last song of the night. I think it's Saturday night. I have 3 this weekend. I think Saturday. So I'm psyched about that. So I will play. And she told me she loves Bob Seger and Billy Joel. So I'll play Piano Man on Saturday, and I'll definitely do old time rock and roll. But that will be the first time I've played old time rock and roll in a long time.
Okay. I'm actually surprised about that.
Yeah.
I got another question before I go into the last couple of songs. You go into a party, one MJ song, one Michael Jackson song. That's it. You get slapped across the face with a 2x4 if you go outside of that one MJ song. Which one are you pulling?
Don't stop till you get enough.
God dang. I know. I go back and forth. I don't know if my answer is Don't Stop Till You Get Enough or Billie Jean. I think it's Billie Jean, Scooter's epic intro edit from Direct Music Service. Have a look at that one, Mike.
I'm gonna have to look at that.
It's so epic, literally. Yeah. It's literally called the epic intro edit. And
believe me, Billie Jean is a close second, but if you're telling me I only get one MJ song,
right.
Don't stop till you get enough.
Okay.
Just the energy in that to me is just better.
It's unreal. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now, this very last part is going to be kind of these end of the night, mid 2010, I think. I'm terrible with the years. Dave Lander's cringing. So I'm going to pair these together, and you can tell me if you like them. Still like them. Dynamite, Taio Cruz, Give Me Everything, Pitbull, We Found Love, Rihanna. That kind of dance, 125 BPM,
right?
Pseudo EDM pop bangers. Banger rock.
Dynamite until 2 years ago, until pre-pandemic, Dynamite was probably 90%.
Okay.
It's fallen a little bit for me. I still play it often, but
like 50% of gigs.
Yeah, 50. What was your other one? Give Me Everything Tonight.
Yeah.
But same 50%. And then the last one was
We Found Love, Rihanna.
90%. Okay. Not maybe 95.
You know what? I think I'm the same on all those numbers. 50, 50, 90.
Yeah, that We Found Love, the build-up on that is just, it's one of the great build-ups in all of music. Don't touch it as a mixer. And it's also one of the rare songs I play the whole thing because because you can get two build-ups out of it.
Yeah,
it's one of the rare songs that I'll play 3.5 minutes of. That is.
I still love that song, man.
Yeah.
That's when the dance floor is shaking, your speakers are kind of like wobbling. Right. You're like, this is why they paid me the big
and when you think about the lyrics for a wedding, I mean, most couples probably would say, no matter what their story is, they probably say, we found love in an unlikely place. So I think it's good.
Freaking good. This was fun, Mike.
This was good. This was really good. I enjoyed it. Good idea, Joe. You came up with a good one.
Thank you, buddy.
And we should tease next week.
Right.
We talked about, I think I mentioned in a recent podcast about saving and putting money away for retirement. And we had a few listeners reach out to us about doing a show about that. And I happen to have a phenomenal DJ on staff who also does financial work. So we are going to have Dan Muller on next week. And he is going to talk about, hopefully give us some suggestions about some vehicles that we can put our money in and some ways to start saving, especially if you are a business owner and don't have a 401k with the company that you work for or whatever. But some suggestions towards putting money away, whether you're starting at my age or whether you're starting way younger. I think Dan will give us some good suggestions on that.
Do not snooze on this topic, guys. I know it sounds a little snoozer-ish compared to the magic that we just dropped on y'all, but I promise you it is when people ask me, I'm interviewed for things or when I do consulting for DJs, where did you mess up? Where did you go wrong? I didn't take care of my money. I did not save enough money. I spent too much money. And, it took me till, I promise you, I was almost 40 years old before I got my shit together. So, especially for the people that are younger listen to this episode, start saving your shit. And I
feel like I'm cramming for a test right now because all of those years I didn't save, and then I started right around the same time you did, and I started in my 40s, which isn't horrible, but I could have started in my 30s and 20s, and for the younger listeners definitely, but even for guys our age, my age or your age, listen, because it's not too late to start, and Dan will hopefully give us some, and he's also a music guy, so we can do both next week. We can ask for some investment advice, and you can throw some 200s at him.
Dan is a great guy. Dan's a great guy. He showed up here at my office 2-3 years ago. He was doing a house party or something in town for one of his buddies, and borrowed some gear from me, and we kind of hit it off. So great guy, one of Mike's, soldiers, if you will. And yeah, tune in next week. So we hope you guys enjoyed this episode. It's a little longer than normal, but
our music episodes always tend to. But that's cool. Good. It's a great topic.
I enjoyed this a lot, man. So thank you guys for listening, and we'll see y'all back here next week.
Ciao.